Welcome, Collectors Trading Posts, for the week of July 28th. This is Joey Papa CTP Buscemi coming to you with episode 3 of CTP's Sales, Clearances, and Deals of the Week. This week we're going to kind of go on a little bit of a new route. Not only are we going to give you what we found in the marketplace, but we're doing our test episode of our upcoming podcast. So call this kind of like a test thing. So what we have going on is we have our support group in the background with Mr. Roderick Nolan.
What's up?
And then, of course, our walking DC brainiac, Mr. Jason Quarenga.
Guten Tag.
Yeah, that means hello. Anyway, so this week what we're going to do, I will tell you, thank you for being patient. It's been a long night. Every time we get this thing going, one of us would drop, so hopefully we can get through the whole entire thing this time. But to start it off so we can get to the fun part a little bit later, let's talk about what we found in the marketplace this week. A lot of new stuff that's kind of going to start hitting shelves. We all know that your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have obviously hit. Big sales, I guess, this week, really. The big news for you folks that are into Mega Bloks and Legos, they have a buy one, get one 50% on off all Mega Block sets. Now, the cool part is for you game junkies out there, World of Warcraft is released this week. So the new Mega Bloks of World of Warcraft will be coming to your local Toys R Us, so make sure you hit it. Looks like they're going to be a lot of fun. I did watch an episode on G4 about the design of it, and these guys were completely having nerdgasms over them. Another neat thing, I guess, in Toys R Us this week is all Batman item merchandise is buy one, get one 50% off. So that's not bad. Target-wise this week, kind of a big thing. They're all going up to 70% off. I actually saw DC Universe Classics for only $4.78. So, of course, I'd have to basically point that towards you customizers because there was about 5 of the Golden Pharaohs, my favorite figure in the whole entire world of the DC Universe Classics. Good job, Maddie. That was still warm in the shells with a nice little coating of dust. But again, even at $4.78, they weren't moving. But there was a dove hidden underneath there with a Necron Build-A-Figure piece. So again, you may want to check that out. But don't forget, August is going to be your big release month. So everything you saw at the SDCC and all the toy sites and all the cons that are coming up, start looking because it is coming hot to a store near you. That's pretty much it for the week. Nothing real exciting. So let's get into what we're going to kind of be getting into soon with our podcast. Each week, myself mainly, and if it's not me, it's going to be Jason hosting a group of your staff members of Collectors Trading Post. And we're going to be getting into a bunch of different topics. That's going to be kind of what we're seeing on the wall and what people are talking about during the week. Tonight, we're going to basically be getting into your or I guess I should say my favorite talking point lately is Matty Collector, and when I want to say the travesty of what they're actually doing to Masters of the Universe as well as DC Universe Classics. Then we're going to go into a little bit of comic review and then some other little fun talking points. So to start off tonight with our introductory process, I should call it, to our new podcast, let's talk a little bit about Matty. This week been kind of crazy. Last year, when the DC Infinite Earths podcast, excuse me, guys slap me if I do that again. Last year, I remember when this Infinite Earth subscription was essentially in trouble. What was going on was you had people from the Masters of the Universe line busting stones, busting balls, whatever you want to call it. Now, these guys are all walking around like somebody yanked their underwear up the crack of their ass and wrapped it around the top of their heads because they are in danger for the first time in, how many years has it been, guys, since that thing started?
I think 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I think that's what I read.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years that these guys, I mean, and you got to remember, this is a 30-year-old line of toys. I mean, these guys are in serious danger of losing that. And I don't know about anyone else, but besides Matty Collector, you guys know of any other place that you can actually get Masters of the Universe?
No, it's Matty has exclusive rights to it.
Now, what I did do today to try to prep, I actually had Roderick do a little internet surfing, trying to find, what's going on and who's doing what, and Roderick can probably attest to this because since he's on the other side of this, they have like Alan Thicke doing videos. You got the Four Horsemen and Corn Boy pleading to people. You have a lot of blogs. I mean, how many did you count, Roderick?
I found probably 5 or 6 blogs backing them up, just leading right to their site.
All right, so we have blogs, we have actors, well-known, famous people. Everybody's coming out of the closet, so to say, for Masters of the Universe. And what's Maddie do? Well, you're only at 40-some%. Oh God, if you don't hit the 100%, and we don't know if we're going to be able to continue this for you. I'm going to have to call bullshit on that right off the bat, guys. Reason being, you have people that are diehard fans for 30 years. Now, Jason and Rod, you guys can cut in at any time, but you know me, I'm pretty freaking passionate. I made a statement this week and said, screw it, and I sold off probably about 80% of my DC Universe collection because I've had enough of Maddie. I mean, they're taking a fan base and basically shoving them right up their ass and saying, screw you guys, if you don't tell us how much we can project to make this year, we're not going to give you the figures you want. And I think it's a travesty. I think it's a joke. I think the Toy Guru really needs to be fired and taken off the site due to the fact that he comes up with these escalating cost pitches and, oh my God, the factories in China, they got into a little trade embargo with Japan and we can't produce and do this like with our Young Justice line. Again, I don't see Hasbro or anybody else out there, as a matter of fact, having any issues like this. Yet they are, like I said last week, they're a publicly traded company, yet they can't tell us, they can only give us percentage points. They can't give us an actual number, which really ticks me off, like I said, because they are a public company. In other words, does that mean I have to go out and buy stock? How many shares do I need to buy before somebody will give me a friggin' answer to saying, okay, what's your profit line got to be, and how many actual units or subscriptions do you guys need in order for this thing to go through? Same thing as DC Infinite Earth subscription. I mean, they give us a stupid little thermometer that has no numbers on it, and you're just looking at it, staring at it like you think if you're going to put your eyes through the frickin' computer, you're going to move the frickin' red up the thermometer.
And that thermometer hasn't moved since SDCD ended, and that's what kind of concerns me is I made the comment that thermometer bar was set too high. I mean, like, you look at for 2014, screw 2014, I'm thinking about 2013 right now, because we don't know what 2014 is going to come out with. But, I mean, the 2013 numbers, I mean, whoever put that bar, someone said, oh, yeah, it's about profit margin. And, like, I have to agree with you at that point. I don't care about profit margin. I care about supporting a line that we all love. Exactly. You know, the DC line has been a tainted line, even when it was with Kenner. I mean, I'm going way back, Joe, with Kenner. It was Kenner, then it was Hasbro, then it was Mattel, and when Mattel grabbed it, it was like, oh, Mattel grabbed it, the Four Horsemen, and it was great. And now it's, what's going on now? We don't know what's going on now. We're in a limbo of I don't know. Now, am I in a fire sale mode like you were? No. I'm not going to fire sale my stuff like you did, but the thing is, I work hard for that collection. And to see it not complete does tick me off a little bit.
Well, that's the problem. That's Mattel's history. Mattel has a very, very long history of not completing anything. I mean, like I dubbed them the ADHD poster child. You know what I mean? They need some serious frickin' Adderall to get their frickin' head straight because all they're doing is screwing their fans. But again, like when I was talking to Brian Isaacs this past week, he made a phenomenal point. The point is we have to stop thinking like fans because fans don't hurt their pocketbooks in Mattel. Okay, Warner doesn't listen, which I'll get into a kind of a neat revelation with them a little bit later, which you guys should find kind of interesting.
I got one question.
What's that?
How long is it going to take before they start hounding people to get second subscriptions?
They've already started.
That's already started that. It's been on the Mattel website for a while now. People grab a second one, grab a third one. I mean, I know some comic shops grab 3 to 4 subscriptions just so they can have first pick at some of those figures. I think if you're a subscriber, you get up to 3 or 4 figures extra if you get to the sale on time.
Oh, and don't forget the 8-inch Batman or 12-inch Batman that they keep pushing at you. That's probably $500.
I think it's $35, but yes, but still.
Oops.
But still, I mean, it's one of those things where they're trying to get people to buy second and thirds, But the thing is, what are you going to do with all of them? I mean, unless you're a comic shop, you're not going to buy a second or third subscription.
See, you
exactly.
Well, see, that's the point. The point is unfortunately, we are dealing with a company and their poster child, Toy Guru. I mean, I'm sorry, but the guy has just completely turned me off. I know he's in sales professionally, but when I'm in sales myself in my professional life, and my other professional life is doing collectors trading posts and networking us all together, with all you awesome guys and the rest of the staff. But the point is that these guys are just I think they've burned too many people. I mean, they're allowing these eBayers, they're allowing these scalpers. How many times have you guys actually, I can tell you it's been multiple times for me, try to get on a Matty collector. You can, order unlimited, 99, or you can order up to 10. By the time you get the regular guy that has enough money that's busted his butt the whole entire week to be able to get that one figure, by the time he finally gets it to go through, they're sold out. And then they add the nice little thing, oh, your order is not complete even though you paid until we physically ship.
Right.
I mean,
well, and that's just my gripe with toys in general, not just Matty. Just in general, I mean, the average Joe, the working guy, I mean, the dollar is not what it used to be anymore. And things keep going up. Groceries are going up. I mean, people say eat healthy, but, eating at McDonald's 99-cent menu is more cost efficient than eating healthy. When you go buy a burger for 99 cents and a salad's $4, same thing with an action figure. I mean, they're shoving these 4-inch, 3.75-inch G.I. Joe size Marvel and DC figures at us for $10. But yet, I mean, I remember when $10 bought you a Marvel Legend.
Well, you're still $5 less on average on a Marvel product, Hasbro product, than you are a Matty.
Right, but I mean, the same thing. I mean, it's in general, is, the cost of plastic and the cost of this and the cost of that. It's like, I understand the cost points are going up, but still, to complete a line of figures, I mean, look at the new Justice League figures from DC Collectibles. Mm-hmm. I mean, DC Direct used to be a $15 to $17 figure at most at your comic shop. Now they're $22 to $23. Mm-hmm. And then to complete your Justice League set, you need to buy a 13-inch, 5-pound plastic Darkseid for $90. $90.
Don't forget you got his little henchman coming too. I think that line they're going to keep pushing it. But the We Are Heroes 7-pack that's coming out, the figures are only going to cost like 13 or 14 a piece. So
a good chunk of that's going to that We Are Heroes campaign, which I'm all for. I'm not saying
that's good.
Don't buy the 7-pack. I mean that's non-negotiable.
No, that's not what I'm talking about though. What I'm saying is that you're paying $20 for a figure now, yet when they do We Are Heroes, it's $14, $15 a figure, and they're putting proceeds towards that charity. So
right.
They drop the price, and they're going to still take more money away and give it to the charity. So that tells me right off the bat, a flag goes up, a big old red flag, and says, okay, why are they charging more for the singles then?
It's unknown. I mean, the thing is, I've gotten used to paying high price with DC Direct, and that's why when DC Universe came out, I was like, well, holy crap, I'm getting these same great-looking figures with better articulation for a third of the price. I'm all for it, and I was for it. And then, the price points start jumping up and up and up and up, and it's still going up. It's like, now you got, it's what, for a Batman Legacy or even the Movie Masters, it's after tax, it's almost $19. Mm-hmm. I mean, at the end of the day, to build that Build-A-Figure Bat Signal, it's going to be $112 cost to build that Bat Signal, buying all the figures.
Well, there's already people that beat that system. I don't know if you noticed it, but I've been looking at, if I see Gordon's or Bane's or something, kind of the new thing, and it's happening everywhere, which, again, you're going to have an issue because this is what Mattel and I'm sorry I'm going to say it because this is how I feel, the jackass Toy Guru wants to keep pushing the freaking cost thing. Have you noticed at Walmarts that people are actually slicing that piece out and returning it without it, so there's no Bat Signal piece in there?
Yeah, I've noticed on the Catwoman is the only piece that's hard to do because that piece in the back of the actual box. You can grab the control panel out, but as far as the actual piece, Catwoman is the only part you can't get out.
Right.
But I mean, Gordon and Bane and Alfred and Batman, those are easy to get out.
Yeah. So what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? It's the same thing I talked about last week with the freaking Green Lantern toys, and when I wrote the article on Pendragon's post. They're going to have a bunch of product that's written off the loss, and they're going to have tons and thousands of dollars of lost product on the profit and loss statement. They're going to say, okay, who is it? Oh, it's Mattel. Okay, don't order as big of a large amount. So what's going to happen? Again, we're going to have issues. So for us that are trying to complete, we're going to have to bust our butts and try to get to the store before the scalpers do, because it's just going to make it that much harder to complete something because of Mattel and their price points.
And I'm all for Build-A-Figure waves, and trust me, when they first started them, it was cool, and it was a new concept. But I think the Build-A-Figure craze is what ultimately is another factor of killing the line, because they make you buy all the figures to get the Build-A-Figure. Yes, that's a marketing ploy, I understand that. But at the same token, it results in people to say they don't want a Commandy or don't want a Golden Pharaoh. Well, they're going to do that. They're going to take the Build-A-Figure piece out, or they're going to return it with some knockoff figure like we've seen, like your Iron Lad figure. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's becoming almost, I don't know how to say, desperation from a collector.
The way of life.
What's that, Robert?
The way of life. It's what people are doing now to get by.
Yeah, but the reason Golden Pharaoh, guys, this is how smart these guys are at Matty. The Build-A-Figure piece comes with their other biggest travesty figure, which was OMAC with a frickin' jackass mohawk that even customizers don't know what to do with it. Golden Pharaoh comes with a stand for him to stand on. So nobody's even going to buy that thing for a figure piece. I mean, that was just, and I'm not trying to go here because I'm not like that, but they put a very extremely feminine figure on the shelf in a technically boys line, in an adult collector line, and now these companies that are paying, because Am and Rob, he's a Mattel vendor. I know what these things cost. They cost the stores $12 to $13 a piece, depending on case order, and now they're down to $4 and some odd cents. So how many Golden Pharaohs you think are out there? And then subtract $10 from that, or multiply that by $10. I mean, that's thousands of dollars these companies are losing. But again, we can talk about this all night long. And again, I think we got a lot more positive, exciting stuff we can get into. But it just comes to the fact, guys, that if anybody's listening tonight, take this to heart. We all need to start thinking like consumers and basically tell Maddie, if we even start our own little movement, writing them, calling them, emailing them, telling them, give up the line or start doing what collectors want instead of what you want, because the excuses are getting old. Because, like I said, you're seeing a lot of arguments now. But, anywho, now we're going to get into Jason's territory. We're going to get into the comic talk tonight. And let me set up Jason for this. Jason doesn't really read. Jason, you don't read Superman, do you?
No, not much. I stay away from that guy.
Well, there should be good news for you here. Now, you're hearing it first tonight, probably from me. But again, I had to call Jason today because something was bugging me, and then I called Brian Isaacs, and I had to ask these guys a question. But if anybody's picked up Superman, the new 52, number 11, on stands now, the title of it is "Secret of the Suit Revealed." Kind of a neat cover. Superman standing in front of, on the rooftop in front of the Daily Planet, but his lines that are cut into the suit now are all glowing. Well, the secret of the suit is kind of interesting because, it's a pretty gory, it's a very bloody episode. A couple issues back, Superman went to help a Russian sub that was having major issues, stranded at the bottom of the sea. Nutshell, he flies underneath the water. The Soviet army basically tells him to back off. They got it covered, and he flies away, mumbling something under his breath. Well, he's hanging out with Lois on a double date with her sister, and he gets word on TV that there's a major issue going over on in Russia. He flies immediately over there, and come to find out, he finds this capsule that looks like it was something growing in there. Well, continuing from there, as the story moves on, there are people cut in half. There's blood all over the walls. I mean, they went all out just showing the blood. So I'm like, man, this is pretty freaking intense for the red, white, and blue poster child Superman. And then, which I'm going to let Jason take over from this because he kind of really woke me up, and I definitely don't want to take the credit because he kind of shocked me when I was driving the car today and we talked. But here comes out of nowhere this alien, some kind of alien assassin. I mean, he finds them in this town. And he has cut women and children and old folks, and I mean everybody's dead. And like I said, it's a dark freaking issue. And at the very end, he shoots him with this. The alien shoots Superman with some kind of dart. Well, it basically blows him to shreds. He speaks something. It looks like from the way they're writing it, Kryptonian from the first couple issues. And he's laying there where his suit is no longer with the big red cape and the blue. It's all shredded and it's white from when he kind of found it when he fought Brainiac. I was like, wait a minute. He destroyed his suit. Now what's he going to do? Because they went into this timeline. Well, Jason, take it from here.
Well, I didn't read the books. You got to tell me.
Oh, God. Oh, that's right. You know what? Maybe I got you mixed up. Jason, tell him about... Good times. We're really on the same track, right?
We talked about Wonder Girl. That's what I chimed in on, Wonder Girl.
Oh, Shnikes. It must have been with Mr. Isaacs. Well, here, let me lead you. Well, you may find this interesting then. I didn't know this, but as we all know, issue 12 is coming up. Issue 0 is coming up. And Jason enlightened me today that at the launch of this, DC Comics had a contingency plan in place. That if this line isn't received well, or the 52, they'll do what, Chase?
They're gonna go back to the old continuity.
Right. Now, are they going to pick up from where, like, Batman 713, 714 left off, or are they going to kind of continue where we are now in the DC 52 with the same uniforms, or we're going to go back to the old style costumes?
From what I gather from who I talked to in the industry, because I talked to a lot of artists and stuff. There's a backup plan to go back to all the old numbering, all the old everything. But it's funny because for those of you who read Green Lantern and Batman, it's never really changed per se. I mean, except for Justice League, Batman's suit is still Batman's suit, depending on which issue you read, if it's Dark Knight or if it's Batman Inc. I mean, and Batman Inc. is another one. It's still from pre-Flashpoint era, all that story. So it's one of those things where DC has a bunch of stories out. I mean, Justice League stands on its own. Justice League doesn't run parallel with any other books except for Justice League. And the same thing goes with Batman the Dark Knight. Batman the Dark Knight stands alone on its own title. It has no continuity with the rest of the rest of Batman's titles, except during the Court of Owls, they made it jive for like one issue. So it's one of those things where if you read Green Lantern and read Batman, you understand that nothing as much has changed except for a facelift to some of your characters. But yeah, Green Lantern and Batman had this thing in Justice League. I think it was issue 2 or 1 or 2 where Green Lantern goes, "Who the hell's Bruce Wayne?" And it's like, how do you not know who Bruce Wayne is? And that's where DC's scrutiny came into play with a lot of the new 52 was from Justice League. I think if you take Justice League out of the mix and read the core titles, it really isn't confusing. Justice League confuses the piss out of you, and it still confuses me.
They did a 5-year jump?
Yeah, 5 years back and 5 years forward, and it's one of those things where I laugh because I read Green Lantern and Batman religiously, and then even Teen Titans a little bit too is kind of gone on a side rant because they revamped the team a little bit here and there. But I mean, like I said, if you take Justice League out of the mix, it's not a bad read, and the universe is not that bad. It's Justice League that fucks everything up.
I've been enjoying Justice League.
Me too.
I can't say. I mean, I do see what you're saying, Jason, about it just stands alone, because it does. I have found a couple of things a little confusing with it. I haven't read the new issue, though, so I can't really say too much about it.
Yeah, I'm mailing it to you on Tuesday.
Yeah. But other than that...
I guess the question is, guys, obviously, for all of us, like, well, Jason, you're the one that held my hand when I was getting back into this. I was kind of excited about this launch because I thought we were going to start from the beginning and all that, which, again, I was a little taken back because we didn't really start from the launch. And then today, again, you light me up because you're the one who turned me on the Flashpoint. And you're right. After, Zoom and Flash did their business, and that whole timeline was just ripped to shreds. That's where the DC 52 launched, and now what are they going to do? I mean, are they just going to transition back? Because now, for me as an avid reader of 52, and I truly enjoy it, how am I going to be left if they stop what they're doing now, where I've actually really mentally bought into the lines, and they're going to just continue from what they did a year ago? I mean, how is that fair to fans, Jason?
It's not fair at all. Especially, it really wasn't fair to the fans that were hardcore readers of all the titles but with the new 52, for as much bad as it is, there is also a lot of good. Mm-hmm. Because Aquaman was a crappy character until the new 52, he became a badass.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of people talking about him.
The creative team revamped Aquaman to be a badass. As far as Batman goes, I really enjoy the Core of the Owl storyline. That storyline to me was really enjoyable to read. And there's a whole thing, AVX or Core of the Owls, what's going to be the better written or better, it's apples and oranges when you compare Marvel and DC, but I understand why they did it. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was, I think if DC would have did a Ultimate Universe, because that's what Marvel did. Marvel has their core titles, and they have their Ultimate Universe where they can play around with. If DC had went that route, okay, look, for about a year, we're not going to produce other books. We're going to focus on Ultimate, because Marvel did that too. Some of the Marvel titles didn't come out for a year until they got the Ultimate lines done. It would have been a better transition. If you wanted to read Ultimate, you can reread Ultimate and say this is a new story for a new era, and keep the old continuing on. It really, besides having some blasé characters who don't belong to be there was not need for a facelift. There really was not a need for it. But, someone like you who picked up at New 52, it would be unfair to you because there's a lot of storylines that were going through besides Batman and Green Lantern that were actually decent to read. Like, Justice League was a dying breed because they had this team that really wasn't popular. The only thing that was cool about the Justice League before Flashpoint was Dick Grayson, Batman, and that's about all I can come up with. Because that's the only. It was a really bad roster toward the end.
Well, they have to go back to what works,
Yeah, the original 7. But the thing is, Justice League was always like that. They always revamped the 7. There was always 7 random newbies, but there was always either Batman, Superman, or one of the two of the Trinity were always involved. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, the Trinity just got away from the Trinity and went to Batman's Batman, Superman's Superman, and Wonder Woman's Wonder Woman. But end of the day, that's DC's bread and butter. Those 2 right there. They clearly can't mess with those anymore.
Well, you want to hear my conspiracy theory?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Now, here's a couple cool things. Now, we're talking about this, and I'm listening to you, and I think everybody out there who will listen is going to agree that what you're saying is dead on. Now, this is a couple neat points you got to remember. I think, personally, that we are going to go back to the modern age of comics, and DC 52 is going to go away. And this is why I say that. Besides the 2 figures, or maybe 3 that they've actually shown, maybe 4 now. No, actually, I think it's only 2. By Mattel has been what from the DC 52?
Batman, Superman, and Flash.
Okay. Now, is Flash actually going to really come out? Do we know? But we don't know yet. All we know is we got a confirmation that definitely we're getting Batman and Superman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now everybody put this together because I'm always doing this kind of crazy thinking, and I'm in the 90s with my predictions, so I'm pretty confident about this one. So, hey, Roderick, you awake?
Yes, I am.
Good, man. Now, take mental notes because you're the mental note taker. All right, so we got the Mattel, Batman and Superman, right?
Yep.
Obviously, the main staples of who? Warner Brothers, right? They announced no superhero movies in 3 years, but we brought out the Batman and we got the Superman, and it looks phenomenal. Okay? Now, Henry Cavill is just the man. I'm even hearing people talking already that they say he's going to rival Reeves. So, God, I don't want to tick anybody off, but that's what they're saying. But all right. So
well, they need to.
Well, yeah. they're going to say that to hype up the movie, regardless.
Well, they couldn't say it about Brandon Roth. They tried to get a look-alike, and that guy was Oh my God, was he a pansy?
No, Superman needs to be good. This movie needs to be good. If they don't, then DC's definitely going to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, because all they had was Batman at the end of the day.
Well, think about it. This is where I was going. All right, so you got Mattel's got Batman and Superman, right? Okay, so besides those two, all right, forget the Japanese companies that do specialty statues. I'm talking about everyday people that have access to get this stuff. What is the only other line that you can get new DC 52 figures?
DC Collectibles.
Bingo. Okay? Now, Roderick, you got that down?
Do I get a cookie?
No.
DC Collectibles.
You get a mental slap on the butt. What's that, Roderick?
DC Collectibles, got it.
Okay. So, we got DC Collectibles to get the whole team and then some. And then we got Mattel only showing really that we know that's confirmed, unless they have another travesty of, oh, the factory shut down, of Superman and Batman. Now, look at last month's and the months before advertisement in your DC Comics. They showed, what was it, either Skechers or Converse Chucks.
Bane and Batman.
Right. Now, they showed 4 lines of shoes, okay, that have prints. They showed silver, gold, modern age, and DC 52, new DC 52 age prints for this new line of shoes of theirs. Now, guess what line was just recently dropped, and now they're down to 3?
You got me.
Yeah.
DC New 52. Okay? So
I see where you're going.
Okay, exactly. So let's play this out. One again. We're kind of doing like part. What is that song? Whatever that Christmas song that you keep repeating the same verses. We've got Mattel only really confirming we got Superman and Batman in the new DC 52 gear. Okay, what movies are coming out? We have Batman came out that's doing phenomenal, on track to make $1 billion, and then we got Superman is just starting to get really big reviews. Everybody's real excited about Nolan, Nolan's brilliance and him being a producer. Then we've got DC Comics collectibles, very limited production company. It's the only one that's kind of making these, the DC 52 characters available. And then you got the shoes that are pumping, and all of a sudden they take away the DC 52 print. Now, here's where it becomes a deal closer. The con that just happened, Warner Brothers basically shows everybody, next year and prediction of what they're going to be going with sheets, kids' clothing, all that kind of design stuff. Guess what wasn't shown pictured on any of the prints?
DC New 52.
Bingo! Now you get a cookie, a mental cookie, because we're about 1,000 miles away from each other. But that's what I'm saying. All right, so you have Warner Brothers, okay, who is showing modern age superheroes on all their clothing lines, their bed sheets, toiletries, that kind of thing. And again, without having to go through all of it again, because I've already said it enough. We know about them wanting to do a Justice League, right?
Yes.
Well, they're kind of at this point. It's inevitable, but the way they're going to go about it, and I'll use my analogy that I use all the time at the comic shop. Avengers had 9 years of build-up. 9. It wasn't done like here's a spoon, force feed it. It was one of those subtle. If you watch the credits, you caught the first 3. Then Iron Man 2 came out. Well, look, here's Black Widow. Look, they're talking more about S.H.I.E.L.D. with Coulson. Look, and they were kind of like flashing what they were doing. The producers, because Marvel was doing it smart, and this is why I always say I enjoy Marvel live-action movies. Just like, as a segue, I enjoy the Star Trek movies. I hated the Star Trek show. I love the movies. So, in a sense, I'm not a Marvel fan, but I love the movies. And they built up for 9 years this Avengers movie.
Well,
so
you have a lot of the Marvel fanboys getting all excited, which I think it's stupid for them to do this. But they're talking about doing in that same universe, a TV show.
I didn't understand that TV show. That just completely blew it out the water for me. I don't even know if I kind of want to. I don't even know if I'll watch it, honestly. Different actors.
if ABC can pull it, ABC can pull. I mean, if you don't have to have the core. It was probably going to be almost like here's the Shield helicarrier, and look, they're going to probably have Fury come on every now and then and do a cameo.
But you got ABC, always be crap. I mean, come on, man. It's a regular network. It's not cable. They're not going to be able to bust some frickin' skulls or anything. You know what I mean?
But it's also it's also Disney, though. You got to think about it that way.
Yeah, well, they were busting skulls in the movie theater.
But it's like I say, you look at how Avengers built up. It's if they do the TV show, it's gonna be half-assed done regardless. It's TV. There's not much you can do in an hour. Like, look at the Cape. I mean, the Cape had promised to be a good show, but then they crapped the bed on that one too. Yeah. I mean, superhero TV shows don't usually last. Smallville lasted because they did a different way about it. Now, from what I hear about Arrow's gonna be even better than Smallville. And you know what?
Arrow! Oh my God, is all I gotta say.
But in the end of the day, talking about the movies, you had so much time to build the Avengers. You look at Batman. When Christopher Nolan took over Batman, it was a big, hyping, steaming pile of elephant dung from Joel Schumacher. All right? So Nolan had the chance to make gold there. My only complaint to Nolan was that he made Batman a standalone character in his universe. He did not give Batman a chance to segue into another movie. And if Warner Brothers knew then what they knew now, I think they would have changed Nolan's mind into throwing a cameo of someone here or there.
See, I disagree with that, Chase. I think because you and I, I don't know if the people that are listening want to hear us talk half the time, but I mean, we get into these discussions about Batman. Like everybody's like, oh, Blake's going to be Batman. I'm like, no, he's not going to be Batman. I said, and I was like, there's a couple points. Selena Kyle, her high is stealing things. Okay, great. She's shacking up with Bruce Wayne now, which they do in a comic anyway. He comes back to make sure. If you notice the facial expression, which I go for the face expression of an actor because that's going to tell me more about the story than using my frickin' mind and thinking something that's not there. But when he looked at Alfred and Alfred saw him, he didn't cry or get all upset because he cried when he thought he was dead. Okay? But when he saw him, he smiled and looked down, right? That tells me, like, all right, you got me here, right? He knew he was alive. Then you got Bruce Wayne looking at him, smirking and looking down. Then you got Blake, clumsily going through the waterfall, banging into the new Batcave, okay? There is no way a man in that universe named Bruce Wayne is going to allow some rookie kid to walk in not knowing his tech level, not knowing, the guy can fight, but he fought one person. You saw the way Blake looked at Batman, and he was like whipping freaking sick guys' asses, just knocking them out, and he's like, oh my God, like a starstruck kid, in which he was. So that movie is set up for a fourth or to be transitioned into the Superman universe. Because if you look at the Superman universe, it's filmed very similar to the way Batman was.
Well, because Nolan was a producer.
Right, so it's nothing for those two to start merging. I mean, look, you can write any way you want, but I'm telling you, Nolan, there is something deeper in this than I think. I think we're in for a wow factor is what I'm thinking.
Especially how they segue Wonder Woman into it, if they do it right. Now, to just kind of take back what you said a little bit, he won't let anyone just walk in without knowing their tech level. I have two words for you. In the original comics, Tim Drake. That's all I'll say about that. And then we'll move on. Yeah,
you're right, but like you said, he's a combination of all three, right?
Right. What I'm saying is, in general, Tim Drake basically walked up to the Batman's front door and said, "Can I talk to Batman, please?" Much like Blake did in the movie, which is why I said, it was kind of cool. But, also, like I said, going back on our discussions about the movie, we were speculating. I remember when you were all about Selena Kyle not being worth a damn, and I want to tell you,
off, yep.
who stuck up for her?
You did.
Thank you.
No, I'll give you props. Like I said, hey, shut up. That's your one time and one time only. You mark my word, everybody. That's it. He only gets one. No, but seriously, you're right. I was flabbergasted. I made sure because I had a free movie pass. Somebody had given me, and I was like, all right, I'm going. My wife's like, you're going by yourself? I'm like, yeah. I don't want nobody talking to me. I'm going to get my soda, going to get my bucket of popcorn, I'm going to sit my ass down, I'm going to watch this movie. And then what I did is I cleared my mind, I walked in there, I said, you know what, I'm no prejudging, I just want to watch it. I just want to see it, and I'm going to keep it open. And I have my mind thinking of all the novels I've read and everything I knew about Batman. And these people out there that want to fight and argue and, bitch all the time how it sucked and this and that. I don't know what the hell they were watching, but there was no holes for me.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I have my loopholes that I saw because I didn't read the books, so I didn't really know.
Or were you high?
No, I was not
Okay,
high.
okay, cool.
I don't condone drugs.
All right. Then you got to drink some coffee, son. Okay.
But-
Anyway, so getting back to good times. Anyway, so we're getting back to the Superman thing. So at the end of the book, okay, Superman's laying there. His alien blasts the living shit out of him, and he's all burnt up. Okay, he's in a white suit. So now I'm saying to myself, issue 12, I think we're going to get back to something because he's not going to be able to wear the same suit now. Because before this suit, he was wearing what, a t-shirt, jeans, and some cowboy boots, so or shit kickers, whatever they call them.
Yippee-ki-yay.
His cape is draped over a rock, and same symbolism as Doomsday when he whipped his butt, right? And this monster is, Jason, when you get to the shop, just look at the last couple pages.
Yeah, I'll thumb through it when I get there on Tuesday.
The cape is ripped off his back. It's draped over the rock, okay? He's laying there defeated. This creature standing above him, okay? It symbolizes the end for me. It shows me that, okay, Superman got his ass kicked by Doomsday, and then he was reborn. I think they're going to start showing the rebirth back into the old way because they're doing what? They're going to lead into this movie line, and I think they want the comics on board. They want to start getting the toy lines on board.
Well, and I do agree with you in a sense, Joey, but Cavill's costume is based off a New 52 costume, so I don't know how much we can go into that.
What's that?
Henry Cavill's costume is reminiscent of the New 52 costume.
Yeah, there's no blue, but he doesn't have a red belt.
They got the idea for the costume for the movie from New 52. They were the first to get a glimpse of the new costume before any of us did.
Have you looked at the costume, though?
Have I looked at Cavill's costume? Not in depth, but I do know that they got it off of the New 52.
Right. Well, this is your differences. Okay. There's no break in his suit, so it's almost he's more of the Ultraman look. He doesn't have the red bikini shorts wrapped around his hips anymore, and he doesn't have a red belt. He has kind of like a gold buckle in the center there. Obviously, a lot of his uniform or costume is CG, hence his cape, because the damn thing's so long. But he doesn't have the neck that's going up. If you look at his sleeves and his collars around his hand, he doesn't have the red break around it. Okay, so I think what you're saying is right, but I think you got to also remember, I think they're testing it to get a fan reaction because they incorporated a lot of Brandon Ross outfit. If you look at his suit and the weave of it, it's very similar of Return of Superman with Brandon Ross.
Oh, I think the shield is just what looks much similar. When I saw the shield, I was like, it looks almost like Brandon Ross' shield.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot. It looks like it's a lot larger and more pronounced.
Right. Yeah, the one for Brandon Ross was too small. I always say that when I first saw it. When I first saw the promo shots, I was like, it's too much leather on the cape and too small of a shield. And that was everyone's gripe, was the shield was too small.
Well, in the later parts, and you have to help me out here, Jason. The later parts of Justice League and all before 52 came around about a year ago, did Superman have a symbol on the back of his cape?
No, that was very early. I can't remember exactly when they changed that. It depends on the artist. I believe Perez always put a shield in the back of the cape. I want to say it was only George Perez that drew him like that, but I could be mistaken. Please don't quote me on that one.
No, because don't. It's not just him, because I'll confirm it, because on this Superman version, he has a black symbol on his cape. In the movie, he doesn't have one. So, of course, like I said, I'm being a conspiracy theorist because it's fun to predict, because you never know what's going to happen. But again, like I said, I really think they're setting us up. But enough of that. Let's get into our fun part, Jace. Greg Bryan, I think it was a couple other guys we were yapping about it today. Man, have you read Green Lantern and New Guardians for this week?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Don't ruin too much.
Oh, yeah. Rod has them all in his box to send to him.
Oh, I thought Roderick was sleeping again. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. You can talk about it. I'll catch up on it.
All right, well, look, Roddick, I'll tell you right now, buddy, no matter if we tell you the whole freaking thing page by page, it's still going to blow your freaking mind. It's going to blow your mind. I mean, Jace, which one do you want to get into first? Lead on this one. New Guardians or Green Lantern?
No, do Green Lantern first, because New Guardians came out after Green Lantern did, so go Green Lantern first. That sticks to the timeline, right?
Yeah, okay, true. All right, let's look at it. I mean, we've been finding out recently, about, for those that are not following the story or trying to or what, or have an interest but don't read it, found out that before Abin Sur was killed, he had created the actual Indigo Lanterns, which blew my mind away. I mean, did you know that, Jace, or were you like kind of shocked at that?
No, I kind of knew Abin Sur had a part of it, only because of their creed, their oath has Abin Sur in it. So I knew he had something to do with it. But I didn't know it went that deep, though. I didn't know he went as far as he did to create the Corps. Mm-hmm. But I do know he had a part of it because of the fact that, I mean, face it, Abin Sur was probably the greatest Green Lantern because of his knowledge. It was almost like comparing him to Yoda, because he has the knowledge of the universe that some don't.
Mm-hmm. Well, they go into that, and then they, when Hal Jordan steps up, and one thing I like about this issue is they're finally starting to freaking give Jordan his power back, so it's no longer a freaking Sinestro construct. That's the one thing I didn't like about this storyline so far, but it looks like they're starting to correct it. But
well, no, the reason why Jordan lost his powers is because
he gave it up, didn't he?
No, the Guardians stripped him of it. The Guardians stripped him of his powers because he was able to kill a Lantern somehow, and they don't know how, and they didn't like that very much, so they had to control somehow. So the way they controlled them was to take away his power. Well, Sinestro knows Hal's potential, and that's why he gave him the power to have a ring back. But the thing is that I would have a problem with was the fact that Sinestro asked for his help, but then everyone doesn't like Sinestro being a Green Lantern. I don't mind him being a Green Lantern at all. I think I actually like Sinestro being a Green Lantern.
I don't think he likes being a Green Lantern himself.
No, he does. But what they said was, if you missed one of the quotes was, "Once a Green Lantern, always a Green Lantern."
Right.
And that was said by Sinestro. That was
okay. Wow. All right. A little light hitting there. What about Now this is what I found kind of neat. He gets converted, knock. And he likes to say knock. I'd like to know what the hell knock means, because every time what's up, Indigo? Knock. I mean, what the frick's knock mean? You got to translate that.
It's the name of the planet too, so who knows?
Yeah, but it's like Smurfs, right? You knock. Whatever. Anyway, one thing that you can tell with Abin Sur is that every single one of those Indigo Lanterns were vicious, children, women raping, kids slaughtering psychos. And then
they're all murderers or criminals.
Yeah,
shown the light of compassion to force themselves into compassion.
Yeah, but how about this though? When what was it, issue 8 or issue 7? When Indigo actually, or no, maybe it was this issue, or it was last issue, where she actually was herself before she went back to Indigo, or no, it was this issue. She was Indigo that she said, I still felt bad that I took your daughter, and I was like, so somehow Abin Sur was able to take this Indigo power and convert him. Well, obviously it didn't do too well on Black Hand, because that son of a bitch is all freaking getting evil on it. Like, he wants Necron coming back to the rave,
Yeah, and like I said, I think it's a little too early to see exactly where they're going on with Black Hand, because the way I see it is the Black Lanterns were extinct because of the whole Blackest Night thing, but we don't know what the second half of that prophecy states. Right. The second half of that prophecy is now going to come full forth. So that's something we have to look at right now.
Well, we also have Green Lantern Corps and the persecution of John Stewart, and then the Alpha War. That's going on right now in the other part of the universe, and I know that's getting kicked up. But for me, what I saw, it was like Green Lantern meets The Walking Dead. I mean, this guy's a freaking nut job. He goes out, buys Chinese food, goes to the cemetery, has his family raised from the dead, their cadavers, sitting there, and he's sitting there eating lo mein while they're just staring at him like freaking rotten in front of him. And he's talking about turning everybody into what they are. And then, boom, at the very end, here comes Hal Jordan and Sinestro. But, I mean, I'm still flabbergasted by that, Jace?
Yeah, I hear you. I had to go to my daughter's room for a second. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Roderick, what's your thoughts?
Well, I've read up to issue 10 so far, and I think everything has been really amazing because it has been my first Green Lantern experience.
Really?
Yes, and I've been reading all 3 of them, and I've actually been enjoying them. And it's like the more I read it, it's kind of like I remember reading stuff as it when I was a kid, because I remember the colors and stuff.
Right.
And it's like, it's weird because like I don't know too much about it. That's kind of why I've been enjoying the New 52.
Yeah. Well,
for the most part.
Well, Jason's kind of made a point. You're not really reading 52. That's the cool part about this. Have you read like Blackest Night?
Yes, I picked those up from Chris, and I read those, and I loved them. They were great.
Okay. So they have all those prequels and that Brightest Day and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this line's definitely getting intense. But once Jason gets back, we'll go into the rest of it. But I tell you, when you get into the next one, which I want to get him on board again, and I think his daughter has to get to bed. The new Guardians. When you read that issue, oh my God, there's some. I mean, revelations are popping everywhere. I mean, it's amazing. But I mean, anything else? While we're waiting for Jason. Well, at least the good news is he's still on here. It's just we didn't lose him this time.
That is true.
Any other comics you're enjoying out of the line?
Well, I've been reading all the Batmans. They've been great. See, here's the thing. Not a lot of people know this. I took a break from comics for about 6 years. Mm-hmm. So I started picking up New 52s. Mm-hmm. So for me to make that big difference, it's been interesting. Because I picked up Aquaman. Because like Jason said, he is a complete badass. I've never read an Aquaman like this before. Mm-hmm. He's been amazing. Every issue just makes me want more. Mm-hmm. I've got the Green Lanterns. I've started He-Man.
Oh, what did you think of that?
The He-Man, it was pretty good. The first issue was pretty good start. I'd like to see more. It's hard to base a comic off the first issue.
I mean, was there a Prince Adam? I mean, was Cringer like a little wuss like he was when we were kids? I mean, was it or was it gory? Was it bloody? I mean, did they man it up, I should say?
I only flipped through it, so I couldn't tell you what it looks like.
Who's this?
I'm back.
Oh, well, son of a gun. How you doing there, son?
Well, I haven't watched any He-Man stuff in a while, but it was great to go back and kind of see it. I would say he's kind of stepped up into like a newer area for
Did he grow up hair? Did he grow up hair, Router?
Yeah, I would say so.
Good. Let's get back, get out away from the loincloths and get back into the Green Lantern world. Getting through that Green Lantern, going into the Green Lantern New Guardians. I'll say it now, mark my word, Invictus is your new dark side.
Yeah, and I think Invictus is going to come out and play a bigger role than what I think Darkseid. I think if you're going through there with Darkseid, it's a good segue. I want to see how he's going to react to seeing Larfleeze in the flesh. That's all I want to say. I think the whole Larfleeze thing is untold yet.
Well, this whole book was just, I mean, I was thrown. I mean, Sayed, how do you pronounce the name?
I call it Sayed, but...
Sayed? Yeah, something like that. I mean, I'd love for them to tell us how to do that, but I guess that's in John's mind, but Jeff Johns. But, when he blew that planet up and replaced it with his own, and they're all like, oh, my God, we're home, I'm like, he just destroyed a freaking planet.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you read the back issue, he almost has the white light that the Weaponer has, too.
Right. And it says, he just, out of nowhere, he just blew it up, and then he puts his planet there with all the debris and the carnage of the one he just destroyed, because I guess he remade it in the way he wanted it. And the evil undertone of this guy, this Archangel, as he calls himself, I mean, there was so much that came out of this. I mean, when he blows up and he said, once they take care of Larfleeze, he's going to basically destroy Earth and everything else. So this guy's got underlying motives. but then you got Sade becoming the one who stole the rings. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah, she was the puppet master.
What's that?
She was the puppet master.
Oh my God, yeah. And it reminds me of Scar. You know?
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Sade's a girl, just so you know.
Right. I'm just saying, they were both bald head. She got into the shaving the head thing, kind of like little mini Sinead O'Connor. But who was it? When Monk, when he said he couldn't figure anything to work against the constructs of Agent Orange, and then he goes use Arvis, whatever it is.
Arvis, use the orange light.
Yes, whip some freaking ass. I mean, I was like, oh my God! And then when I got to the last page, I was ticked.
Well, the thing is, and even in the when Hal Jordan, when they were all in the Book of the Black, and Hal had all the rings in his pocket from the Book of the Black, when he gave rings out to all the people, Jon Stewart got the indigo ring, and then Guy got the red ring, and Kyle got the blue ring. Everyone got
Red Wings.
Yeah,
that's twisted, man.
But the thing is, Jon Stewart was going to take the orange ring, and Hal said, no one can take this ring. No one knows how to wield it. And that's the thing is, no one can wield it because no one sees how to do it. And so Monk was literally the first Lantern, besides Larfleeze or Lex, to wield the orange ring.
Or orange light.
Yeah.
Right. I tell you right now, he became Larfleeze was crapping himself. But, what I was upset with, he killed one of my favorite little constructs, Glomulus,
Yeah,
ripped him a new ass. Couldn't believe it.
Poor Gloomy.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's got his orange, alien butter all over Kyle's face,
That one of the other little tidbits in there was that the whole time Larfleeze knew the plan because he can hear through his constructs. Mm-hmm. So the whole time they were talking to Gloomus, they were really talking to Larfleeze. So Larfleeze knew they were coming for him.
But this is my question. If there are only representations of what they were, did you see like the panic in Glommy's little face when he was when he was about to take out Raynor and he jumped in front of it? It's like,
well, to my knowledge, the constructs, they're what they used to be, but they're also, I think they're souls almost.
Yeah, but if they get destroyed, he can pull them back and recreate them until he says you're done.
Yeah.
So he plays God with that ring within that world. I'm telling you, man, it's just brilliantly written. But anyway, that's going to be the reviews so far for the comics of this week. You guys got anything else you want to throw out there tonight?
Well, just for weekly sales and stuff, Best Buy is still offering buy two, get one on video games. That's been going on for about a month, so, there's no telling when that's going to end.
They're doing a lot of promotions on Skylanders, too.
Yeah, that is true.
Trying to dump them. You know what I mean? It seems like, because I heard they're coming out with these giant Skylanders. Whatever the hell that's about. More stuff for the kids to break. Jace, anything?
No, besides you look at your comic book shop for your new 52 figures and...
Yeah, what was released this week, Jace?
The Aquaman and the Green Lantern. Aquaman looks awesome. The detail is phenomenal on these things. I'll snap some pictures later.
Yeah, definitely get that up on the wall. But anyway, guys, don't forget, Jason's, one of the main guys down there at 3 Alarm Comics, and that is Collector Trading Post's official store. And Steve Scott, right? No, Scott
Hoverman.
Why do I do that?
Because their names are so similar.
It's not that. It said Steve has not drawn me that frickin' CTP picture.
Oh, he'll get to it.
Whatever. He's going to get famous, and then he's going to charge me 5 times the amount.
Anyway,
remember, anytime when you go to 3 Alarms Comics, whether you're going through Jason or getting a hold of Scott over there on their Facebook page, every time you spend $50, he's going to knock $10 off. So that's a hell of a deal, especially for those type of items, because you don't typically see $10 off.
And just so you guys know that Scott's got a huge collection of back issues. If you're looking for something, I know a couple people hit me up with some back issues that I couldn't help them with, but if you ask Rod, I basically found everything he's been looking for, and then some. And also coming up in the upcoming is Scott's going to be a really big Sideshow statue holder, so he's gotten them good with Sideshow. I know they're a little pricey, but guys, I'll tell you right now, they are beautiful to have in your collection.
I know admin Dave Harriman. I think he's hid his bank account from his wife because I think he's ordered every one so far this year.
Oh yeah, the sideshow is just phenomenal.
I couldn't pull that off. My wife had my neck in a noose. But anyway, guys, this has been Joey Papa CTP Buscemi. Mr. Roderick Nolan, your media admin. Make sure you look every week on the wall or actually I should say every day, because this guy doesn't sleep, because he is out there consistently scanning the internet and also having his ear in the phone and his mouth on the receiver, trying to dig out the greatest and latest news for all of you, as well as Mr. Jason Quarang, the man I go to consistently when I get confused, which is often about anything in the DC world and comic world. Guys, don't forget, we are collectors helping collectors. We will be back next week, and basically the sales, clearances, and deals of the week are eventually going to be melded into the one CTP pod show. We're trying to figure out a freaking name. When we have that, we'll let you know. But either way, thank you so much for listening.
We can't use Talking Shop. That's copyrighted.
Well, that's our boys there, man. I can't even claim to be them guys. They're infamous. They're awesome. That's right. You know what? Let's give them boys a shout out. Mr. Josh Harden, Mr. Chris Bailey, your host of Talking Shop with Chris and Josh. I listen to them just because I never know what the hell's going to come out of their mouth. So they're hilarious. They go over comics. To hear them, start joking around, you're like, I wonder what these guys are really going to give me. But then when they get into the meat of the conversation, they're absolutely amazing. Got to definitely give them a shout out. They're actually on Twitter now. Josh is very excited about that, and they come out every week. So don't forget, if they do ask, please give them suggestions of what you want to hear about, because they love fan interaction. So, and they are growing dramatically. Also, big shout out to Mr. Brian Isaacs and his site, who is now merged with us as part of the CTP network, Mr. Brian Isaacs and
Pendragon's Post.
Yeah, baby. PendragonsPost.com, where every single day you never know what kind of review is going to come out.
Look for Roderick and my review.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Just got posted today.
What did you review?
We did The Dark Knight Rises, a dual review.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. I don't even hear nothing about it. I want to read it. I want to see what you guys thought. There's one thing I love about Brian. He loves opinion. We go off fact, and all the people that write for him base it off fact, but he loves opinion, and he backs you, and that makes for an interesting read. Remember, we are definitely working towards becoming one of the top mainstream media sources out there, and Pendragon's Post PendragonsPost.com is the spear point. So definitely hit those guys up every day. We've got more and more writers. We want to welcome to the team. I'm going to officially do that tonight, Mr. Jeffrey Spella. He's became part of the CTP Network family this past week, and he is assistant editor.
The Grandma Hammer.
Yeah, that's right. The kids in his school, he's a teacher, call him the Grandma Hammer.
And trust me and Roderick know why.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Well, with Mike Hopkins, oh my God. Anyway, yeah, Jeff's going to be a full-time job with just him. But Jeff's on board to help Brian get these articles out. So never know, guys. Let us know if you like writing independent stories. If you have your own superhero that you're writing on or something like that, let us know. We'll get you posted. Brian's looking for somebody to sponsor like that. So
before we end this,
I wasn't even done talking, but go ahead, Roderick. Because
before we end this, we need to plug the contest.
What contest?
Your X-Men contest.
The X-Men DVD contest.
I forgot about that. That's right. Well, Roderick, do you want to tell everybody about it in an excited tone?
Well, we are giving away...
Well, that's definitely not excited. You sound like you're sitting back in a freaking lounge chair with a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
We are giving away X-Men.
Let's try this.
DVD.
Let's try this. Go attention, CTP and everybody out there. We are actually having a contest for you. Write a review of this week of either a comic or graphic novel released by either Marvel or DC. The winning review will not only be posted on PendragonsPost.com for the world to see, but you will also win a yet-to-be-released Marvel Knights Comic Motion X-Men Torn, a fantastic new video that won't be released till the middle of August, but you will have it 2 weeks before the release date. So the winner has a lot of good stuff out there for them. So make sure, if you can, I think, what did they say? We extended it to August 4th, guys?
Yeah, I believe it was August 4th, yes.
August 4th.
Yeah, that's what I believe.
Yeah, so definitely write your asses off, guys. Get it in there. And let me tell you something. You may not, the editors may not pick yours, but that doesn't mean you won't get published on there. Pendragon's post doesn't need to be, need all hoity-toity writers. They want just good writing and good stories and good reviews. So if it's a good story or a good review, send it in to them. Send it in to Brian Isaacs, Jeffrey Spella. Let these guys look at it, critique it, and we'll announce that winner. But anyway, guys, who wants to do the good old sign-off?
This is CTP signing off.
And for you, Rudder?
This has been CTP, and we are signing off.
Yeah. Anyway, this is Joey Papa CTP with his brothers in the house. Hopefully next week we'll get more of these knuckleheads on there. As always, remember our doors are always open for you. Collectors helping collectors, and God bless. Have a great night, guys.
Good night.